Hello, this is Bargain MC here, and welcome back to the Badge Patron server. How's everyone doing? You alright? Thought I'd start off back at the original spawn village. Today, we're going to be road building. Let's see. We've already had the little road here. And you're probably all familiar with how to get to mine. Actually, this road kind of ends here, and I quite like this open path. But then the road to mine and for sneezies, I've kind of picked it up again here. This is what I was working on yesterday, and we've got a little bit more to carry on past my base. And I thought while I'm building the road, it's maybe a good time to maybe tell you a little bit more about like me, who I am, that kind of thing. As I don't think I've ever give an introduction other than Pie, the potato stroke slime man. So we have the road coming up. We've used the typical pumpkin lighting. The same kind of random path bit that Sneezy and I did between ours. And what I did with the bone meal, I hope everyone likes it. I quite like it. I basically bone mealed the crap out of everything here. Give a bit of grass, give a bit of flowers. Oh, many stuck animals. I quite like it. And then I've punched out the grass for the path, like for the well-worn feeling. So we follow it round. I've done the same as well in front of Sneezy's. If you're watching this, Sneezy, I hope you like it. It can always be changed very easily. So path picks up again here. The path splits off, one for Sneezy, one for me. So again there's all pumpkin lighting hidden with leaves under here. And then I replaced, I don't know if it was a bit of this bit or was it up here. Yeah, it was this bit, was all smooth stone. And I swapped it out for dirt and let the grass grow over the top of it. I think it gives quite a nice effect now. So all this is pumpkin lighting on the sides. And then trouble bits. Same again, and with the bone meal. And then there was some bits, like this was okay. Oh, and there's some lighting down there. And what I have done, we're getting a lot of mobs that would be down here. And they would slowly work their way up the cliff. I've done what I did closer to my base. Got dirt and smooth stone. I've carefully went round everything and I can see another... Oh no, the leaf block there will stop it. To basically stop them getting up. Obviously Endermen will come and change that, or players as well. Some bits here. These were always troublesome spots. So I've went in with the lighting all the way back. To dramatically cut down on the spawning. As the more area... What I was finding was the less that people are using the spawners now, because we're all getting decent gear, the more mob spawning there is. And because I've got more of my caves lit up at night, it's a little bit hairy. Must be said. It's a little bit troublesome at times. Here, Laputa. You can see the skeleton at the bottom. That's for the vines. I don't know for the little... When I did this yesterday, and it is curved, but you can't see it very well from this angle. I don't know if this still might be a little bit too long. Wouldn't take much to maybe go up another 10 blocks maybe, and trim it there instead. What I'm waiting for at the moment is as the vines grow, they'll plant here, but then every now and then they'll skip a block over and grow a new one, and that's what I'm finding. So I'm just keeping waiting. I'll go up, there'll be more longer ones, go up, put string on them, wait for more, and eventually I should get them all. So the path comes down here. I've bone mealed all this. Rather please, these are my favourite flowers in the game. Bone mealed all this, put pumpkin lightning. I was going to say lighting. Quite a fair there, to about there. Quite a fair way around. It was getting, I don't know if Sneezy would want it all the way. I don't think there'd be a problem, but... Oh, and there's one there. Oh, I'll have to remember that spot. Whereabouts? Right, I'll light that up later. I'm very tempted to always bone meal grass now. For just the longer grass and the flowers. Anyway, the path, I've laid out in torches already. I'm going to move these pens over a bit. I've already put my diagonal bridge in. A few references were made to B-dubs and Z-Store, to be honest. I remember that when he was building it on the last map. I missed bits of it. This is just a simple... I don't know if... Shall I wait till day? I'm gonna wait till day. See you in a few seconds. Right, the mobs have sufficiently cleared. There's only me on now, having left, and yes, it's very tricky at night now when there's only you and the entire server mob cap. So yeah, simple little bridge. I just wanted something simple, nothing too fancy, and it was a diagonal, which made it rather difficult to do. Basically, these are just mirror images of each other that just turned around 180 to match each other. Right. Now you might be thinking, where's the road going to though? I've got a neighbour. Well, about 400 blocks away, but either so, I've got a neighbour. I've got a Jack. Elysian. Jack. It's easy to go by Jack. He is over there. Actually, let's tie up Donkey. I chose the path. Could have went a few different ways, and I thought it would be nice to have a bit of a scenic route. Come on. God, what I would give for Depth Strider. Can't wait until we get 1.8 proper. Right, so the bridge, straight line from there. And when I have it rising up to this height. And this is going, I think for this one, I'm going to do a bit like a suspension bridge or something like that. Going over. I'm not going to swim. Could I swim? Which would be quicker? Oh, and here's the rain. Great. I think it'll be quicker to get to Jack's to show you to actually go around on the land for the moment. Let's do a quick jump cut. Jump, and here we are at the other side. So there, the bridge from there to there to there, and then at another diagonal, somehow or other, to get it up to this height. And I've got the road kind of meandering a little bit. Just around here. It's not a bad distance. It is, yeah, it's about 400-ish blocks. It shouldn't actually take... The actual doing the road bit shouldn't take that long. As I like to do the little bits of blocks here or there. It'll be the bridges that'll take a little bit longer. And here we are to Jack's build starting off. Incredible. Ooh. Very impressive. I'm not exactly sure what it all is. Oh, and I'm hungry, that's why I can't sprint. Helping out with some of these glitchy slime block elevators. And I think he refined the one I built. That it works even better. You've got to get the timings right. And the timings can almost be different for different people, depending on your ping. To the slime that pushes you up, to the next one that flicks out and pushes you up again. What will work for one person won't work for another. So I'm going to end the path probably like about here. And then coordinate with Jack where he wants it, whether he wants it, you know, to just stop or little gatehouse or something or other. You know, where to go from there. Right, let me get back to the start again. Right, so here we are back at the start. I think I'm going to do a first one with just cobblestone first. just to get the exact layout of the road I want. And then go back with something else. Then go back with gravel. Then with, what's it? Gravel, coarse dirt. Yeah, gravel, coarse dirt, cobblestone, and then I'll do the pumpkin lighting afterwards, something like that. It's a little bit about myself then. I know I could have done like a Q&A kind of thing. But I thought also, I can just do it myself, can't I? My real name. Well, if you followed me on Twitter, you'll already have my first name. And it's Alec. I don't know why I left it on Twitter. Although it's still nice to go by your first name every now and then. It brings that little bit of like humanity into an online world. How old am I? I am 33, soon to be 34 next month. Tell you, it's very surprising how quick the years can go. I know this last new year, like 2015, I keep on remembering the millennium 2000, which it really doesn't feel that long ago, and it's like 15 years ago. You know, when everything was all about the Y2K bug and all that crap, and because do you remember the Y2K? Oh, hello, spider. Wasn't it going back to code or something that was written in the like 19? Was it? Yeah, back in the 1960s or 70s or something, when they were compiling code and they never added in like. Yeah, I could just remember being on the news and the BBC every now and then doing special reports on the Y2K, what it means to you, what happens if planes start falling out the sky and all that crap, and yeah, it never quite worked like that. I can remember turning my computer on. Did I have a PC then? Yeah, I had a, what did I have? I'm not going to put this road in yet, but I might. Actually, to make it easier, I might just do a simple cobble one for faster travel. I had a wasn't a 386, I don't think. I bought it from Tandy when they were having a closing down sale. It was a 433 megahertz processor, I think, and the hard drive was a 2.2 gig hard drive. It was a display model. Because I can remember my mum didn't want a computer in the house. Didn't want none of that internet. And at the time we had in the UK FreeServe, which was like a penny a minute dial-up. And you didn't need an account. You just did it. And yeah, I didn't tell my mum. Shouldn't have done. I can remember when she got the phone bill, and there was like 20 quid's worth or whatever. You know, oh, I'm going to take that up, aren't I? I don't know what I'm going to do. Alright, I can always go back over this bit again. Oh, and here comes the night. I really might have to skip the night again. It's really a lot of trouble with all these mobs now. Yeah, my mum got the phone bill in. And yeah, it's like, yeah, sorry mum, I just kind of did it. But no, my mum actually has a computer now herself. One that I built for her, my stepdad. Well, she's quite computer literate. A lot more anyway than a lot of people of a similar age to her. So yeah, I'll be 34 next month. I think I'm about 2 weeks younger than Good. Or something like that. I know Good's birthday is sometime in January. Are we going to start getting mobs again or not? Education wise, what did I do? I did here in the UK. I'm trying to think like contemporaries for like the American education system. I understand the same. I got our GCSEs, which I think is maybe equivalent to a high school diploma. I got, what did I get again? 4 Bs, 3 Cs, 2 Ds and an E. And the E was in language. Because, well, I think it's different nowadays, but back in the mid-90s, no one liked to do language. It was just the way it was. You know, we had like different groups, different sets, and I was in the bottom set for German. So, maybe different now. I maybe wish I actually tried a little bit harder, but that's how it was back then. I'm going to, yet again, I'm going to wait this night away. Well, the moon's slowly coming down, I suppose. Ooh. I'll just take care of him for later. I know you want the village, but go away. Right, so yeah, I got E in German. Yeah, wish I spent more time. I suppose I can do this a little bit. While that is more chaotic. Yeah, wish I spent more time. I got a... I'm not going to give you all of them. Art. Loved art. Got a D in art, unfortunately. I think all of my grades, really, I could have done a little bit better. At the time, I remember, like, parents were getting divorced, and I think for all of mine, I kind of just showed up for them. I don't think I even did revision. So I could have done better, but that's one of the things, looking back, it's how it was at the time, so you just kind of get on with it. Favourite subjects were science. Specifically, well, it was split between biology, chemistry and physics, and I'm sure it is for a lot of other. There isn't just like a general science that covers everything. My favourite was, we did electronics in like year 8, like all electrical stuff, and that was really interesting. I think for me that's probably what we got me started. Proper interested in science, but we also had a very good teacher as well. And what a difference having a good teacher makes. You know, as a kid being interested in the subject. We did because I think up until then I'd always nearly been bottom in everything. And we did a test for like just basic electrical and conductance, and I got 100%. And I think it was after that I just kind of took interest then. I think because my dad has always done electronics, he's always been one for taking stuff apart. And so was I ever since a kid, watching him and trying to fix stuff. Or if something's bust, you take it apart to figure out how it works. You know, it's already bust anyway. So if you happen to be able to find out what the problem with was it, well, that's a bonus. If not, you know how it works. If one ever breaks again in the future, you can have a look at it. Anyway, yeah, I've gone off topic a little bit. Ended up going to college and did multidiscipline engineering for a BTEC. Basically, BTEC is like one down from a higher national diploma, which is like one down from a degree level. Did that for 2 years, and in that we did another one there. A bit of everything, from thermodynamics to mechanical to electrical, all the maths and physics that go with absolutely everything. Really enjoyed the course. Very difficult. I struggled with maths a lot. Might sound very silly, but at the time, I didn't think there was that much maths in engineering. And of course, engineering, essentially, a lot of it is maths. And I got stuck a lot. It's when we had to do, it was thermodynamics, and like working out things on like entropy and heat transfer and all that good stuff. And then it was in maths, we were doing quadratic equations, and yeah, my mind just went blank. From there, got a degree course at university to do electrical engineering, but unfortunately that didn't last very long. I think I was there for about 5 weeks. Yeah, not very long. Unfortunately, what had happened was, well, not unfortunately, it's the same again, one of these decisions you make, and at the time it seemed the right one, but now it was maybe the wrong one, perhaps. I'd been working at a supermarket part-time, and I was doing all the overtime I could. I had took a gap between college and university, and I was making not bad money. I was still living at home. I'd pay my mum some board and lodge and stuff, but, essentially I was doing very well for myself. And then I went back to being a full-time student again, and yes, we had student loans, but essentially went back to being poor. And it was rather difficult to get used to. I mean, it didn't last very long. 5 weeks. And I thought, at the time, because I'd already gotten paid one student loan payment, I thought rather than, basically I could have just stayed for the whole year, but then I would have been even more student debt. I know it's not like your debt you pay nowadays, but back then. So I thought I'll just leave. So I ended up getting a job in sales. Thoroughly loved that. I'm actually sometimes not much of a people person sometimes, but sales, I enjoyed sales. Typically I would always do what was it? I would do I'm trying to think of the words my manager used once. I would be put on the washing machines and fridge freezers because I had a friendly face. But basically what he was meaning was I had a trusting face. So people might just buy off me because they think I'm not trying to rip them off with a 5-year extra guarantee, hoo-ha and all that, the stuff that as a salesperson, it's very nice to sell the washer, but you want to get the 5-year guarantee, you want to get the extended engineer's call, you want to get the full £100 installation package. Because as a salesman, that's where your commission comes from. Or it did back then. Ended up going to management there. Became a deputy manager of a small store. And then became I'm trying to get this right. Became an operations manager of a superstore. It's basically meant then I was more backroom. I would still deal with customers, but more as a managerial. If the shop floor manager wasn't around and we had a customer shouting his head off, well, they would normally then call for me. But generally I was backroom, stock taking, dealing with inventory, numbers, clipboards, and that was a lot of fun. But unfortunately that company went bust. I know. It's one of these big companies, that no one ever thinks can go bust, and then suddenly they do. I can remember seeing it coming. I can still remember that day. So I'm just like looking at my recording time where that may be going on about too much. When we had the who do you call it? Not the receivers. The people who deal with the creditors, no. Anyway, the people who, you bring in to basically wind down a company. I can't remember the name, that's going to bug me. And yeah, he just walked in one day. It was like some guy with a clipboard and stuff, and basically, I'm here to shut down the store, can I have your store keys, please? And that was like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean have my store keys? I've worked long and hard to earn these store keys. Phone to head office, like, yeah, winding down the company. From there, yeah, I then kind of went into sales again. I was actually in telesales. Wasn't so much making calls. It was I basically working disconnections. It was my job that when a customer's being paid off so much by every other person in customer support, that when they reach the point of they've said, that's it, we want to cancel, they would basically then get passed through to me, and somehow I would have to try and persuade them to stay online. Where in most cases the customer has had, basically, they've been filled full of, make-believe lies, and we can do this for you, and we can do that for you. They've basically had enough by then. So we'd save a few. I think generally it would only be some like 20% we'd be able to keep with the company, and that would be by offering them crazy like deals to basically stay, which I don't think is done anymore now by the company who it was, as in the long run it doesn't work. So yeah, I was there until I had to leave there when I was 22. So not long, actually. I worked for a few different people in quite a short space of time. I didn't do too bad. Now, in the summer, when I was 23, was on holiday. I was in Cyprus. And I can still remember it. Was in the pool with some mates. On a lad's holiday. Got out the pool and I was limping on my left foot. Just a bit of pain on the heel. Then obviously been partying extremely hard. The night before and for quite a while before that. So you put it down to, I've just heard something. Got home. Pain started getting worse. And actually it turned out to be, I'm going to cut a very long story short. After a year, it turned out to be something called Ankylosing Spondylitis. It's a autoimmune condition. Basically, it's a reactive arthritis. My immune system itself is attacking my body. And I'm going to see if I can do these pumpkins now. Basically, my immune system attacks my body when it shouldn't do. And for me in particular, there will be any medical students or any medical people who probably think the explanation is wrong. But this is how it was first described to me. And it's still how it still makes sense to me. Basically, where all your joints are. And I'll specifically, I'll say the back. Because that's where it'll affect me most in the future. Where there's like your muscles and your tendons. And everything moves between your vertebrae. What happens is my immune system attacks the points where my tendons connect to my vertebrae. And tendons don't typically grow back. So what happens is the bone will grow back ever so slightly to make up the difference in space, essentially. And what happens over time is that the vertebrae can fuse. And essentially I'll have a slightly fused back that won't be able to move. It also affects every other joint and internal organs as well. So are we going to start getting really surrounded by mobs or not? Let me see if I can get another one in. Can I... If this does a horde... Horde? Oh... No! Alright. Time to, let's kill these two. Oh yeah, bugger this. Right, time to wait the night away. Right, the night... Oh. Well, I was just about to say the night has abated. Go. Oh. Oi. No. Right. Are we clear? Are we okay now? Right. How far did I get with my pumpkin lighting down here? Ah, there. I will probably go out a little bit to the sides as well. There. So where did I leave off? I should have kept like a little track or something between these nights. So yeah, bone grows back between the vertebrae. Basically will seize up. It also affects other organs. It's affected my eyes many times. Get something called iritis or uveitis. Basically different areas of the eye that causes it. It's done a fair amount of damage. So the last time was actually only about 3 months ago, and I had to have injections into your eye, which is not the most pleasant thing to have in the world. I can say that I had to have 4 injections in like the top corners, like, you know, top left, top right, bottom left. 2 of very strong antibiotics and 2 of high strength steroids. Yeah, what happens is basically the immune system starts attacking the eye, which is always nice of it, you know. It's what you want it to do, don't you? Like different layers of your eye, of like your front, the iris, your cornea, your lens, and the inflammation happens. I think for iritis, it's between the lens and the cornea. So your lens to focus, and the cornea that varies the amount of light. And what happens is, oh yeah, random giant just talking about the little badge meetup. What happens is they get stuck together, and then the inflammation in the eye, basically pressure builds up. And what happened this time, normally I just take drops. I can self-refer to the emergency department at my local hospital. I don't have to go through a doctor or A&E, I can just turn up, which is nice. I normally just get given drops 1 hour for 2 weeks, and then it's about a 6-week course in total. This time the eye didn't respond, so yeah. It was either have injections or have an operation to drain the inside of the eye, the jelly. And that was like, I really struggled with my eyes. Like, anyone touching them or fiddling with them. And it's like, either that or have the injections. Like, yeah, injections, please. I'd rather give them a go than have the inside of your eye drained out of the jelly. Sorry for anyone who's now squeamish and is now, you know, like, bent over thinking, oh my god. I think that anyone who's got any medical problems, there's some things you've just got to do. You don't want them to get them done. It's just, you know, if you don't do it, the consequences of not having it done are too serious to, like, yeah. So yeah, so that was, yeah, I was 22 and started getting problems. Unfortunately, actually, since I left that like telesales job, got in the call centre, I couldn't do the job anymore. At the time, I was struggling to walk, and I'd had to start using a walking stick, and then eventually, I don't know where the bridge is going to go here yet. I think I am going to start the bridge here though. Eventually, I had to, start off on a walking stick, had to go into crutches. And then it got just too much. You know, at the time, I'd been through a lot. You know, from having a very well-paid job, to that company going bankrupt, to suddenly developing walking and health problems from being perfectly healthy before, besides a bit of hay fever here or there. And yet, left the job. My lady condition got worse, and unfortunately I haven't been able to work since. One of those things, you know, it's life, isn't it? Right, I just put a little quick clip cut in the video there. I was starting to rambling a little bit. And I also looked at the length of time for the recording. So I think I'm going to call it a episode there. I think what, 32, 33 minutes or something like that. I've just very quickly put it all into my editing program just to see where I left off and time-wise. So yeah, and it's something I wanted to talk about. I'd actually spoken to 2 people on the server about whether to say about my AS or not. Very encouraging in what they talk and what they'd said. It's something more when we've been chatting on the server, and a few times conversations have come up about, what we're doing or for jobs or any of that. It's like, generally for me at that point, that's it. I take no part in the conversation because I don't want to be asked, what do you do for a job? And then to say nothing. But I want to make it clear that it's not because I'm a lazy good for nothing that I'm not working. It's because of good reasons that I'm not working at the moment. So it's like, yeah, and then I just won't take part in the conversation. And then that's then like self-excluding myself out of the conversation. If you know what I mean, it's then like holding me back then, and I don't want to be held back. So I thought I'll just get it out that I'm disabled and, go from. I also thought as well at the moment this is like on a Sunday the 11th. Yeah, I'm dating my content. There's a Sunday I'm recording this, and there was the badge meetup the day before on the Saturday night. And I think if there is another meetup, it'd be maybe nice if it wasn't so much of a shock that if I do turn up on crutches, it might not be as a shock of people. I've seen the looks before of people who, when they've met me and they didn't know that I've had any trouble or something. But no, I think I'm gonna leave it there. I think it's a good episode. Next, probably off camera. I didn't really get very much of this road, did I? To the first bridge, off camera, I'll probably just get all that put out. I might do little random clips here or there. But please leave a comment, like and subscribe if you want to. And I'll see you next time. Thanks very much, guys. See ya.